Hey, just a quick heads up, I don't support Yandere nor his actions. I haven't even played Yandere Simulator yet because I don't have a PC. This video was just made for pure fun and because I felt like it, so please don't take any of my opinions or what I say in this video too seriously. I'm just making a silly little video. I'm already gonna tell you guys this is my 5th fucking attempt on making this video and I'm already tired. I don't want to do this anymore, but I decided to, continue because I love you guys and I needed to post a video sometime soon, so I kind of gotta push myself a little bit to make these videos because honestly it's been a little stressful right now and I kind of want to cry, but I'm still trying my hardest and I hope you will enjoy this video. So first up, I started with Ayano because we can't start the series off without the main character. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. There are some kids playing outside incredibly loud. I want to go out and smack those little shit things, but I'm holding myself back. So please excuse that and just ignore it, please. So yeah, I'm making Ayano. She was kind of like a pain in the ass to make because she's like the base. I'll use her like body shape and like the skin tone and like the uniform as a fundamental for all the other rivals, because hell if you think I'm like doing the same uniform like 10 times in a row. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. It took me like 10 minutes alone just making the uniform in her like body base and the skin tone till I could actually get to like making her face, her hair, and all the characteristics of her. Which, by the way, my opinions on Ayano. I think she's incredibly boring. Like, as a protagonist, her design, her personality don't really, how do I say it? It's not really interesting. It's kind of boring. And when I say boring, I mean like incredibly boring. She's kind of like your typical, well, she's a bland character. Comparing her design, her personality to literally any other student in the school, except Taro, because his design is also incredibly boring, she doesn't stand out very much, and that's actually kind of sad because she's the character you play as. She's the main character, and before you're like, oh, but like she has a condition that makes her like emotionless, it runs in her bloodline. I know the Yandere Simulator lore. I feel like Yandere Dev just added that backstory to have an excuse in having like the most boring protagonist in the game. Like, her ambitions are Taro and Taro only. Her only personality traits, like her wants and desires, is to be with Taro and to eliminate any girl that like comes across him. She does not have a lot of flavor on her. Her personality and design just aren't very interesting. Not saying she's ugly or anything. Her design is very pretty. I like her design. Just comparing it to literally any other student in the school or even the teachers, she's just meh. I am gonna rant a little about the game. I like Yandere Simulator. The concept was great for a game. I'm still a little pissed off and waiting for all 10 rivals to come out because we've been waiting for more than 10 years. My patience is running thin, but what can you do? My opinions on the game currently is all the rivals are kind of built off of stereotypes. Like, what do you got? We got the tsundere, we got the yandere, we got the childhood best friend, we got the high intellectual, like the student council, Megami, or like the hot and sexy ladies, like Amira, the sporty one, the cute one, the innocent one. They're built off of stereotypes in like those harem animes. I do like the rivals, well, most of them. I have some strong opinions on a few, but their core personality traits are stereotypes. And once again, Taro as a protagonist, well, the love interest, not the protagonist, he is boring, like very boring. All he does is sit by the fountain and read that book. Like, what is so good about that goddamn book? Before y'all call me a hater, I'm not. I like this game. even though I've never played it because I don't have a PC, and I still don't. I'm many things, but I'm not a hater of this game. I'm actually quite excited to see what happens next in the game, and I hope Yandere, for f***'s sake, doesn't somehow screw it up. Also, I'm still confused. Why was 2024 such a big year for child diddlers? Like,
do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids.
But seriously, by the time this game releases, we'll all be in retirement homes. But I mean, come on, it's been like 11 years and we've only gotten 2 out of the 10 rivals we were promised. My opinions on the rivals will come in future videos, but I find it a little weird how we haven't realized sooner that Yandere was a creep, considering that 2 of his rivals are teachers. Well, the second one is a nurse, and one rival is Taro's sister. I mean, there are many features in the game that make me believe personally that this game, at least at the start when it was in early development, it still is, but in like the earlier stages, that it was made for gooners. I mean, the cheap panty shot feature, as well as you can literally buy underwear from a lingerie store, and just the rivals designs in general just kind of cater to perverts, because like literally every single rival has a large chest, and I'm actually surprised by the teachers' designs because, oh boy, I have many questions about the school dress code and why the fuck the skirts are so short. Those are not even skirts. Those are mini skirts. And especially in Japan, which, well, 100% is where the story is taking place in, I don't think this would be allowed. I mean, skirts, school uniform skirts have to be at least knee length to be allowed. Speaking of uniforms, yes, that's the segment I'm going with. Why are they wearing middle school uniforms? Like, they're wearing like the full-on decked out Sailor Fuku uniform. Taking into consideration that Yandere himself said that Academy is supposed to be a prestigious school, and considering that all the characters are like 18, 19, pretty sure he just made that as an excuse so he could sexualize them, but why are they wearing middle school uniforms? If it was such a prestigious school, wouldn't they like wear blazers or something like that, and the skirts would definitely not be that short. Another thing that I just want to cry at, instead of finishing the main story mode, he was like, oh, you guys want a complete story mode with a tutorial and everything? You know what I'm gonna do? Instead of finishing my already established game, let's just make an entirely new mod to it, featuring the main character's mother. I'm not complaining about that, but like, it's kind of obvious that 1980s mode is definitely favored more than the actual story mode. The character designs in 1980s mode are just 1,000 times better than in the modern mode. It's just a fact. If you compare the characters that we have in the like main story mode to 1980s mode, they're just way more unique and way more stylized, and I feel like Jokichi is way more interesting of a love interest than Taro. He has at least a little bit more of a personality than Taro, which now we know Yandere is capable of making a full story mode, considering he made 1980s mode, and like he said it himself, it took like 2 months for him to make 1980s mode and to put every single rival in there. So why hasn't this been applied to Yandere Simulator yet? Kizana is coming out in the middle of this year. The 1980s mode tutorial came out before the main story mode tutorial. 1980s mode got a whole new ending, and the main story mode doesn't even have one ending. Which, it's not wrong to take your time with a game, but considering the fact that he had 10 years and hasn't even completed his main game is disappointing. It's obvious he's taking a sweet old time and he has no interest in actually completing the game, which I get. When you make a game, you go back and snippet a few things to make it perfect, but we've been waiting for so long and we've only gotten like 2 rivals in the game yet. I refuse to believe that it takes him 10 years, over 10, to implement one rival. Amai came out last year. I'm gonna quit rambling, and here's Ayano Aishi. For our first rival, we have Osana. My opinions on Osana. I absolutely despise her. From the moment I saw the rival introduction video and saw her first, I wanted to gag. She seemed so annoying. She's the typical tsundere stereotype, you know, that it's not like I like you or anything. This is so stupid. You might think I'm a little harsh and that I'm a hater, and you're right. Fuck her and her arm-breaking friend. Maybe I am being a little bit harsh on her, but I still don't like her. But Hell's Kid, she's the first rival in the game. We've had her for like 5 years. Still don't like her. It's maybe because I generally am not a fan of tsunderes. Like, the whole concept of treating your like crush badly just because you're scared of them finding out how you feel is gross. I'm sorry. In real life, if you're like this mean to the person you love, it's gonna be complicated for you, and they'd probably not want to be friends with you anymore. Like, trust me, you saying it's a bento, stupid, is not doing you or anyone any favors. And also, we don't really get to see her personality outside of her being a tsundere, at least not much, except that hug from Ribaru, where she basically says, well, I always treated him like that because, like, I'm scared of him, like, finding out how I feel. I did find the little hug between them wholesome, but they're 2 characters I despise. The reason why I kinda don't like Ribaru is, well, yeah, she's basically like a bodyguard to Osana. For being the first rival, Osana has like a hitman or like a bodyguard stuck to her ass. And I'm surprised how some students don't find it weird that Ribaru is literally always with Osana. Always. Wherever she goes, Ribaru is not too far behind. I would not be surprised if Ribaru watches Osana pee. She's literally glued to her, unless you like distract her or say that Budo wants to talk to her, which, by the way, Budo defeated Ribaru. The Ribaru was the original like leader of the martial arts club until, you know, her streak got ruined by Budo. So how can we kill him easily but not Ribaru? Did she let him win on purpose? Because as like we know, she did not want to be the martial arts leader anymore. So maybe she let Budo win so he could like take her spot because she was kind of sick of it. I don't know. It's just a theory. I resisted the urge to say a game theory. But back to Osana. How do I say this? I do feel kind of bad. Like, I do feel bad for her, and she's in a very freaky situation with that stalker guy. So I do feel like extremely bad for her because that guy just, yeah, he's probably the worst. Also, am I the only one who feels like her voice was made annoying on purpose? Like, it's her voice actor incredibly talented for pulling that off, but it's really annoying. Also, I have to laugh whenever I like remember that all the voice actors for Yandere Simulator quit after, you know, Yandere couldn't keep it in his pants with the kids. There isn't even a voice for Amai, and in the like new custom mode update, he literally used his own voice for Senpai. And it's the funniest thing ever. I actually found out about this from Yandere MP. Shout out to them. I love her content. Like, I'm actually surprised Yandere Dev still got like some voice actors to voice act in his game. Like, I think the voice actors are incredibly talented, and I'm honestly very happy that Michaela Law stepped down from being Ayano's voice actress. She was great though. And by the way, making Osana's hair was a pain in the ass. Making her like long ass pigtails was the real deal. I hated every step of it. Like, those things are long enough for her to wipe her ass with, let's be real. Like, I can see where Yandere Dev was going with her design the wrong way. I don't find her design horrible or anything. I just feel like he could have done a little bit more, especially with like accessories and all that. I couldn't like find a ribbon bow for her hair, so I had to use a full bow, which worked the same. They didn't have circle stockings, so I used the heart stockings, which I think look 10 times cuter. So here we have Osana Najimi. Yeah, this is the end of the video. I know it was short. I only did like 2 rivals, but in my defense, I don't have a lot of time and I'm quite tired. But in the next one, I'll be working on Amai and Kazana. So I'll see you then. Bye!